All right, welcome to another edition of 21st Century Rocker Mom podcast. I have a very special guest and co-host on the show tonight. We got Miss Jenny Bones in the house. So Miss Bones and me are going to tell each other fairy tales, except they're going to be true because we've known each other for over 30
a million years.
Yeah,
over 30
a million years. Closer to a million.
Definitely, like 30 to a million, like right in there.
Right, somewhere in the middle point. So how do we know each other?
I'm gonna say that's from Sherwood Fox, and also living in the same little street area. You were behind me.
Yeah, like in the hood. Yes, I was right behind you. You were like right on the corner. When I come around the corner, like right across in the park.
Yeah.
I had many a bra unhooked.
On that poor playground.
Oh my God. But we grew up in the same area together. Like we grew up literally around the corner from each other. And we went to we started to know each other like in kindergarten.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Like it's been like so long. I'm thinking like I have one of our kindergarten teachers like on my Facebook. So like Mrs. Scarpino.
Amazing. I love her.
She honestly like probably was my favorite like teacher like ever. And now she's on my Facebook and I was just like when she friended me on Facebook, I felt like I got friended by like Princess Diana or something. I was like, oh,
I know, right?
Mrs. Scarpino, that's so awesome.
Her husband's a travel agent, and my parents use him as their travel agent, so they're still connected too. Cool? Yeah.
Small world. It's so cool. Right. It's so cool how Facebook like can do weird things, but it can do really good things too.
And just small world, small London.
London is a small place. I mean, we're both still here, obviously.
Exactly. And then do you remember from Sherwood Fox our school song?
Oh,
do you remember it? Come on. You drink your juice.
Double, you sure would. Double, you sure would. Double, you sure would. Fox.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get your education. Learn communication.
Learn communication. Double, you sure would. Fox. This one's for you, Mrs. Scarpino. I got a juice box. We remember. Do you remember VIP?
What do you mean?
Remember when we did VIP when we had like the police come to the school and they brought all like the scary drugs in the bag and there was like values, influences, and peers.
Those were the best like meeting or whatever you call those skip class days.
Yeah, they were skip class days because they like we'd have a cop come in and it'd be Constable. Oh God, what was his name? Constable Abel. That was his name. It was a cop. It probably scared the shit out of me.
It didn't work.
I'm just saying, it obviously not. They're sitting here, but I remember like listening to like rap about it. There were all kinds of like we designed T-shirts. We had assemblies about it. It was something. Like kids don't do that now. They tried. They failed. This is why I got this juice box over here.
It's good. Keep
hydrated. Other than our elementary school, and I mean, obviously we went to high school together too because being the same one. What do you got? What are you drinking?
Oh, this here. This is liquid death.
That? Oh, is that what that is?
Water.
Does it quench your thirst? Is it murder?
It murders.
Who is that?
My thirst.
Who is that guy?
Can you see this? Is it in there?
Where'd he come from? Oh my God, he's
came
right
from my two hands, Tanya. Like, my two hands.
Those came from your knitting needles because now, like, also because of going to school together. And like, what are you doing now? Obviously, this.
Well, this is just like a side hustle, if you will. I work at MAC Cosmetics. I'm the manager at MAC. I've been there for 16 years, I think now.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Right?
Like literally probably the best makeup company because I even remember going there like as a teenager and going to any other makeup counter and like the ladies would be really kind of like bitchy. And then you'd go and the people at MAC, they would have fun hair, they'd have fun makeup, they'd talk to you, they wouldn't treat you like you were like a teenager. They wouldn't be a dink to you.
You weren't going to the old ladies at Estee Lauder. You were going to the fun girls.
Exactly. And it's still obviously that way because you're working there. But I mean,
oh yeah,
that's not open right now.
No, hence the crochet wonders that are constantly coming out. I started doing
pouring
it
out of you.
Like just pouring out. That's all I do. But I started when I was on mat leave, just because I was like, let's make some stuff. And then it just all of a sudden went like, okay, I'll make this one. Oh, someone liked it. And then, I got a request for this one. And I think it really blew up when I made the Trailer Park Boys randomly.
Those were huge. And people were going like nuts about it on your Instagram. And the fact that you made all of them, plus like the details, like anyone who's reached out to me has been like, oh, I checked out your friend's page. Holy crap. I think I got to get this. I got to get her to do some custom work for me. Like she's down to the details. I'm like, yeah, she's down to every single detail. I'm like, you always had like an eye for detail though.
Yeah. Well, like that comes with the makeup career and everything too, obviously, right? Like I've always been into art. You know that, you too. Like anything artistic, it was up. I all over it, right? So it's just like a new venture. I'm going to learn how to crochet. And about 2 years ago, I guess, I was like, I'm going to learn. And I watched YouTube videos and I could not do it. And I like chucked shit across the room. And I was like, I'm done with this, never doing it again. And then one day I'd be like, no, you can't beat me. And then I would try it again. And clearly I figured it out. So
no kidding. Like it's so tight. Like I've seen a lot of other dolls like crocheted and I don't want to like crap all over them. But like yours are like, they're tight. Like they are tight. The hair looks realistic. Like the clothing is good. Like I mean, I'm looking at Chucky behind you right now. That one like scares the freaking shit out of me.
He's life size.
He's huge.
He's life size, Chucky.
He's like a baby. Yeah. He's like another child. A real
like when I was making his outfit, I was like, my son can wear this outfit, like down to the shoes.
Did you put a little bit on him?
Like, I did not. I worked on this one while he was sleeping too, because it's a little spooky.
Moms. Well, and also it's like it's hard to work when they're awake because they're awake. And they're running around. And they're like, I want those needles.
Yeah, right.
I mean, the liquid death one that you made blew my mind when it came up on your Instagram. I was like, okay, I need to talk to you about this. What?
I know you were like, what? Can I post that?
I was like, can I post this? I was like, I know a girl, she works at Liquid Death. I'm like, I gotta send this to her. I'm losing my freaking mind. And it just blew up. And I saw it today on Liquid Death's on their Instagram. They had put it on there, and I was like, oh my God, awesome. I'm so proud of you. Which I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God, Liquid Death. Do you know Jenny Bones? Do you know where to find her? Send the check, fucking Liquid Death. Right. Send the check. Well, send some cases of water so you can just keep murdering your thirst because it's hot.
Like they can have the thirst executioner. Send me some shit. Send me some water.
Are you sacrificing the thirst executioner for some H2O?
I can. It's right.
It is high and like kind of like the highest quality H2O.
It's pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good.
Well, it does taste good because I don't like a lot of taste of waters. I don't like bottled water. I've never drank it. I just think it tastes like the bottle. It's disgusting. Yeah. And like also, I don't want to like hurt my little fishy friends and my like ocean friends that are in the water. It's mean.
That shit doesn't get recycled properly either. Come on, we know that.
No. And
really the cool kids want a tall boy. So
no shit. Like exactly. And since we're all like not drinking beers anymore, we're just like
get weird looks as you walk down the street drinking it too, right? People will be like, look at that chick drinking beer walking down the street at 9 a.m.
I know people do think that, and because they have the black cans too, right? And people are like, oh shit, are you getting drunk right now? I'm like, a drunk on water. Like I'm drunk on hydration. I'm so drunk right now.
It's good to cut back
it as a water.
Like I drink rock stars like I'm a rock star. Yeah. And I'm like, you know what, this kind of helps cut that down. So I feel like I'm still drinking from a can. For some reason that helps.
They give you a lot. I can't drink them because I'm not gonna lie. If I had a rock star, I would have a panic attack. Because like the caffeine in it makes me like, ah!
And then you just eat an edible and whoop, right back
I'm
up.
like, whoop, I'm like, whoop, and then come right down. You can just balance those things. Like VIP taught me a lot. Constable Abel, thank you.
Think
No,
he's still
actually,
around?
you know what? Oh, I don't know if he's even living anymore. I don't know
Oh,
if he is living.
like 30 years. He was
He was
already
like,
how old? Like he wasn't like a young cool
he was
cop. He was the old guy.
no, he was like an old guy with like a Tom Selleck mustache. He was
Yeah,
like
I don't know.
desk
Around.
duty cop. He wasn't like beat cop, like out, like
No,
running around fighting crimes. There was no more running for him. He was
no, he was going to
running.
schools. That was his demise.
And I think like that's like done with schools now. I think they don't put police in school. Well, they don't put anyone in school right now in Ontario.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I shouldn't be laughing. But I've been homeschooling since like the beginning of like forever, just because obviously diabetes and
Mhm.
just like extra risk and shit at school. And I'm home anyway during the day, so I'm like, whatever. A lot of parents are having like a struggle with it, and like I get it. It's some days it's like, woo.
For
I feel
sure.
for them teachers. I feel for them
Especially
teachers though.
like different classrooms, different teachers. You're trying to do homework or your work from home. Like Jesus, I can't imagine.
It's nuts. But it's like well, when you sign up for like full online school, you have the same teacher and it's like consistent. But then these poor kids that are like at school, they have their at school learning model and they get thrown home. And like you say,
Mhm.
they don't know who they're going to go to. They get put in a class with kids that they don't know. They're on a computer. They have no idea how to use the technology. So parents are losing their bananas, being
Yeah.
like, I like seriously, fuck this homeschool shit. I'm like, it's not homeschool. It's really
Yeah.
bad distance
Cool.
education.
Like it's
Homeschooling is a little different.
a little. Well, hopefully
We do
they're
that
back
too.
and then it's done, right? Like it just be done. It's
I
supposed
just
to be soon.
want this mess to be over. I'm like, they promise soon. I don't believe promises, but fucking come on, guys. Like, come on. Like,
I feel
just
like
throw me a
retail
fucking bone here.
open the 14th is the last date we
Mhm.
heard. So I think that'll be legit. I think retail will open and then a week or two
Yep.
later we'll get everything else opening. So it's
Well, like
coming.
restaurants and like
Yeah.
businesses, I think are gonna get like start getting like a break. Like businesses have been taking like such
Yeah.
a hard hit, and like certain businesses that like I don't understand why they're closed. Like I have
Yeah.
no idea. Like I have gone to dental offices that I'd be like, I'm never going there, but I'd be like, okay, I don't have any tattoos because I'm terrified of needles, but tattoo shops are so clean. I'm like, why can't so
Yeah.
and so get a tattoo if it's like one on one, mask to
It really
mask? Right
is.
now, like a lot of Ontario has been vaccinated.
Yeah. I got mine.
What's the problem? Exactly. I got mine
Yeah.
too. Like I feel fine. I don't have any superpowers,
Yet.
but I have a superpower that I don't want to get hooked up to a fucking ventilator.
You can call that a superpower. Yeah.
Well, I think once that you've seen someone be intubated, and I've seen it probably like 1,000 times because when I used to work, like the nature of the work I used to work in,
Yeah.
I'm like, I never want that to be me or like anyone that I know. So I'm like, they're like, roll up your sleeve for your country. A lot of time we had to go to war for your country. I have to sit on the couch and feel like shit for like a day and roll up my sleeve. And honestly, after I got this shot, I felt like I had a body buzz for like a good 6.5 hours. Everyone's like, I had a fever. I was like, really? I felt high. I told my
Really?
doctor. Yeah, I told my doctor and she laughed her head off.
Well, she's probably like, that's the best symptom you could have had.
She's like, well, good for you. It's like, thanks. Did
Yeah.
you feel sick after or feel shitty?
I just had like dead arm. Like my arm was like super sore. I couldn't really lift it super high, but a little lethargic maybe the first night, but it wasn't anything crazy. Like I didn't get a fever. I wasn't nauseous or anything like that. Like
Sure.
just
Yeah, I didn't get anything like that either.
typical really flu shot pain.
Yeah, exactly. Like I felt
all.
worse from the flu shot. Honestly, I felt way
Yeah.
worse from the flu shot. I've like had the flu shot and been like, oh, I can't go to work the next day. But the dead arm thing, I wanted to cut my arm off. It hurt for like a
Yeah.
good long time. I was like, it didn't hurt when it went in. I didn't even feel it go in. When I had it, I was like, oh, that's just a tiny little prick, and I didn't even feel it go in. I was like, that's like my first marriage. Holy shit. The doctor laughed at that one too. God damn. God bless second marriages. God bless them. So what have you been up to? You got so many friends behind you here. Like
I
how
do.
take me through your process. Like
Well,
how do you start? Like how does it start here?
Well, it started with, like I said, the Trailer Park Boys, right? So
Sure.
it was lockdown. Kevin and I were home. Brody's still taking naps during the day, and we're like, what do we want to watch? We've watched everything. Everything's done. So we just threw Trailer Park Boys on again for the 500th time, and I was like, they'd be fun to make, just randomly, because I'm like, I had just started making dolls at this point, so I'm like only just coming onto a year of making these dolls. But started with them, made bubbles first, and then all of a sudden the internet was like, hey, those are cool. And then my brother knows the head videographer for the Trailer Park Boys. Mm-hmm. So he sent him the photo, and the guy was like, when she makes all three, send me the full photo. I'm going to show the guys. So I quickly made all three, sent it to my brother. He sent it off to that guy. And then Mike Smith, who's Bubbles, if you don't know, was like, I want them. How much does she want for them?
Shut the front door.
So then that turned into like, yep, you can buy them. We had a little exchange. And then next thing I know, I get another message. Mike wants to order now Mo, because his son voices him in the cartoon. Yeah. And Randy and Larry, because he wanted to complete his collection. So then I had an order for those three. And then I was like
crocheting like wildfire.
Oh, hell yeah. And again, like I was on mat leave the start of it, and then we've been in lockdown for forever and a day. So I've had like all this extra time to work on them. So I got them out the door, sweet. And then I started getting a few little like custom orders. And once in a while I'd throw in my own. Like one of the beginning ones I made, I'm sure you were aware of Dave Chappelle.
Oh, so that's Tyrone Biggums. Oh my God.
Right. So that was one of the ones Kevin wanted. So it's probably one of the few that has stuck around the house, because most have been sold.
Oh but my God. I can believe he's stuck around, because he's so good. Like it's such a good character, and everybody knows him, right? Like everyone's like, it's Tyrone. Like if you said that to most people our age, they'd be like, okay, I know who that is. I watched Chappelle's show.
People knew it immediately who he was, just from the toque and everything. Like they're like, yeah, that's Tyrone.
Boom. Like got it.
Amazing.
I'm like, did you knit like a little bit of poo for him?
I was find a little craft rock or something.
I know, like, what can you do? I'm like, you can get that raw sugar like in the big chunks.
Done.
It's the rock it'll be the rock he always dreamed of, like he says in that skit. It's the rock we've always dreamed of.
Yeah, there we go.
I have
that girlfriend.
Of course, seen every Dave Chappelle episode of life.
Right. So that was one that what Kevin requested, which is why it has stayed, because that was his request. That was one of my first tries. And then I made Steve-O from SLC Punk, Matthew Lillard.
Yes, Matthew Lillard.
So Matthew Lillard actually liked the doll. I think he commented, that's fucking rad or something. And I'm like, celebrities, they're seeing these things. This is amazing.
The internet is crazy.
Right. It really is. It helped tremendously. But that one ended up going to a different crochet girl that lives in the States, who ended up ordering one of herself. You probably saw the black and white hair I did.
Yeah, I was like with the black. Yes, because they were standing beside each other.
Yeah, so she had bought Steve-O and then ordered herself.
That's so awesome. Yeah. I don't remember that girl from SLC Punk. I'm like, I think this is somebody else.
Yeah, that's just her. He was the only one I made. Like one day, I might go back and make Heroin Bob or something. But every time I think of a new I want to make,
good.
Order. So I'm like, I have to make someone else. And I'm like, I want to make the things like the cool ones again. But
I've seen you do like memorials and stuff too. So like you're up for that, right? Like you're taking custom orders, obviously.
Yeah, like it turned into like make your own dolls. And then it was like, can you make this? Can you make this? And I started just accepting customs. And then the one that tugged at my heartstrings with this girl right at Christmas messaged me, and she's like, my grandfather passed like a week ago. And I saw your dolls, like, would you be able to make him? I'd love to give him as a gift. And I was like, that one touched home. So I was like, okay, I'll make them. So she sent me the photos, I made them. And then when she got the doll and posted it, that's when I got a few more people that I'm assuming she knew messaging, being like, I lost my grandfather. Could you make him? So I made another memorial. One of the girls I just made recently has pink hair. She's quite severely ill, and she doesn't anticipate living much longer. and she wanted a doll of herself to give to her husband. Like, oh, how like heartbreaking. I was so honored to be able to do it for her though. Like she wanted the little necklace
what
she
an
was wearing,
honor.
and just all the like the outfit she was wearing when she met him, and just I was like, yes, I will make that.
Beautiful though. But like look what you're like, well, look what you're doing for people. Like look what like, you're doing with like your art. Like it's like an art of preservation. Like this is
Totally. And
bringing
like
comfort to
you
people.
can keep
Like
it forever. Like it's yarn. It's not gonna like fall apart or anything, right? So what a like beautiful little like memory that they wanted to collect.
exactly. That's so nice, especially when someone passes away too, because you always think of it as obviously like a somber event, and people
Yeah.
can have urns on their fireplaces and you can go visit a grave and stuff. But like having a doll, like I think that's really special. Like it's really special. It's really unique. And I just think it's so sweet. And I think it's amazing that you get to be part of that process and that healing process, probably a grieving process for a lot of people. That's a really big part of the healing process as far as death goes.
Oh, with that last girl, like we shared crying conversations back and forth about like I was like, oh, I feel so like involved with you. She doesn't even live very far. And I'm like, I wish it wasn't lockdown. Like I want to bring this to you and meet you. Like you're so amazing. But
it's so
one day.
Tough to it's like when you're like connected with someone like that, because that's not the way. Like I mean, look how we're connecting right now. Like we're over the internet, like because we can't go hang out, even though we live like 20 minutes from each other.
Yeah, right.
It's like we could just like hang out, but no, we actually can't. Soon, but whenever Lordo Fordo says whatever we're allowed to do.
Whenever
I didn't vote. I did not vote for that. It's just heap of shit. So I am not even going there.
Just have some juice. Yeah, we'll have to drink some water. We'll
just have some juice and calm down. It's peach. It's that cocktail. It's actually terrible. Oh my gosh, this is the one that I can't even talk about around my child. Oh my god, it scares the crap. And I did post it today in my stories. It scares the freaking shit out of me. It's so good.
Like they're pretty big too. Like it's bigger than a Barbie. Huge. So like it's a decent size.
Like to me, like in my opinion, humbly, being married to who I'm married to, I like they're more like an action figure because they're like posable, like, and you can do things with them, like. And I always remember you, even from being little kids, as that friend who I had more of an imaginative play like relationship with. So when you started making these dolls, like I was not shocked at all. I was like, wow. I was like, they're more like an action figure, like made of yarn. I'm like, how the hell does she do it? Like Tank Girl, for instance, like that one blows my head off. It blows my mind. She's so good.
That was a friend of mine contacted me wanting that because she's loved Tank Girl forever. She even kind of resembles, is it Lori Petty? Is that her name, the actress?
Yes.
Kind of looks like her. I think that kind of was why she was so attracted to Tank Girl. So she wanted her made, and she was like, it's up to you, the style, but like just have fun with her. I just wanted her wearing the army hat. And I was like, done. So fun. I would love to do that. Threw the cigarette in her mouth.
Ultimate like rebel, like badass. Like
that was one of my favorite ones. That was an awesome one. And Marilyn Manson, that was a fun one to make too, because I was able to make his little whiteout eye and like give him that little.
How did you get like all the makeup stuff going? Like, how did you do that? Like, it looks blended.
Literal
makeup.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's bringing my career into it too.
I'm like, so your actual career, like that you went to school for, that you didn't just like teach yourself. This is the other thing that just like kills me. Like you taught yourself how to do this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to give up. I'm just going to do it. Like, fuck, I wish more people had that kind of attitude towards things. Like, yeah, there's a million times where you throw shit across the room. You're like, forget this crap. Like, this is bullshit. I cannot do this. I'm so frustrated right now. Like, I need to go sit with my feelings.
That's the new generation.
Oh, shit, man. I'm like, well, you know what? You can go sit with your feelings. I'd rather fucking throw some shit. And then my kids are sleeping. I can get all throwy. It's fine. I'll go outside. You know what I do when I'm pissed? I go outside and I whack some weeds. That's how my neighbors know I'm fucking mad. They're probably like, oh, that redheaded bitch is mad again. Look at her go with that weed whacker. I'm just like, screw you, dandelions.
Yeah, well, that takes your aggression out, right? You're hitting something, whatever. Do what you can, but
Either that or I'll chop wood. I'll go chop wood. I love chopping wood.
you just gotta have a whole pile of wood for you.
It's the Polish way, man. Like that's it's like the way I grew up. It's like we grew up like relatively like the same around the corner from each other, but like I know I was doing different things on weekends than you were. You're probably doing like regular family stuff, like Canadian family stuff, and I was out like digging potatoes and totally cutting firewood, like totally.
Yeah, I wasn't doing that. I was playing with like pogo sticks and all those sidewalk chalk and that nonsense.
And like skip-its and like things like that, right?
Hell
like,
yeah.
They would count your little skips. Remember those?
Yes. I fucking love those.
I remember that you and I would play a lot of Littlest Pet Shop when you and I would hang out. Like speaking of like imaginative play.
Best. I am so
awesome.
sad that I don't have those anymore. Like if my parents hadn't moved out of our childhood home, all of those freaking toys would probably be in my basement and I would be the happiest person today. But no, they're all gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, except I could buy them off the internet and I could be the brokest person today. Those hamsters that we used to have, we would connect all those tunnels and they were smart. Like, yeah, they were magnetic. Like that is a really smart part of like a toy, and that makes it really like playable for a child.
For sure.
Why don't they have shit like that now? Kids are like learning how to code and shit. My kid is in grade 1 and he's like coding with this like fucking bee. I'm like, I don't even know.
He could have probably hooked us up to sound better than we could have today.
Like, I don't even know what coding is. I'm like, what do you use the code for? He's like, you don't use it for anything, Mom. It's like it's coding. I'm like, yeah, but like, what do you do when you have the code? Do you like put it into a video game? I like think it's like a Game Genie thing. Like,
yeah, like you just put in a code and there's like a secret little pop up. Or
yeah, like you love video games. Like, what are you playing right now?
Right now, nothing because I'm crocheting like a motherfucker. But and like Kevin's been playing the new Resident Evil, so I've been like watching him play that. That's pretty fun at night. If you
how does it look? Oh God, is this creepy?
It's like I wanted it to be creepier. I wanted it to be like watching a horror movie, and I'll admit it wasn't as creepy as I wanted. But it's been kind of fun to like see him trying to kill monster after monster.
That is fun.
But
you're really big. What are you big on? Animal Crossing?
Animal Crossing, I love that. I haven't played it in a while because again, like crochet, but you know, that's my like go-to game. But if we're ever gonna like run and gun on the TV with Kevin, Left 4 Dead is my all-time favorite game. So I don't know if you know that one. You just kill zombies.
Oh, I do know Left 4 Dead big
only
time.
the game.
I'm like such a dink with video games. I love like old, you know, I'm like still like into like
you're like
Super
Nintendo.
NES.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm like, well, I'll go a step above Nintendo because like Rob's like very the Nintendo person, you know. He does a Nintendo quest and he quested after all the Nintendo. I would do like a Super Nintendo quest. I love like Mortal Kombat.
Nice.
I just like to just get a move and just exploit the shit out of it. Whoopsie! Just keep fucking leg sweeping somebody. Like just keep getting them. Like I love that kind of shit. Those are the games that I love.
That's how I played games with my brother when I was like 7. You know, you button mash and you're like, I'm beating you. And then he's like, you're cheating.
Yes. Yeah, I still play like that now. Being
amazing.
I'll be 39 in January. Like, holy shit. Like I still am a button masher. Like I get more than Nintendo thumbs.
39 in January, Tanya? How do you feel about that?
Feels good. Honestly, I love it. I love getting older. It's so weird. Everyone's like, someone sent me a message today being like, you look really young, and like I'm like, thank you. I don't know what to say about that. Like, how do you stay so young? I'm like, well, I don't drink booze.
Well, and I drink this here liquid death.
That will keep you young forever. You keep your skin hydrated, especially like your neck and stuff, and you will stay looking younger. And this is so stupid, and I'm not talking about like the wacky psychedelic ones, but I eat a ton of mushrooms. They're like, so good for you.
God, I hate mushrooms. Like
I know a lot of people hate them. And I'm just like, when I tell them, I'm like, take them in a capsule. They'll keep you young forever. Like,
apparently,
forever.
That's like, literally your secret.
Fairies can live for like 400 years in the forest. Obviously, they live on mushrooms.
That is a good
theory. See?
You know what? You're a thinker.
Mm-hmm. I'm always thinking about fairies and mushrooms and weird stuff. I'd seen someone comment something about Facebook the other day. They said something about keeping magic mushrooms on the top of their fridge because they use them at home. And magic mushrooms are something that scare the shit out of me. Like absolutely scare the shit out of me. I did them a couple times. They keep them on their fridge so their kid doesn't get them, and they do them, I think, for like headaches and stuff like that. Now, I am hearing like different things, mixed things. Are these legal in Ontario?
I didn't think so.
Have you heard about people using these? I don't think so either. But
like,
I know
you can't
like
go down to like and go buy mushrooms, as far as I know.
You can go to the weed store and buy a joint, but you can't go to the weed store and buy a mushrooms.
Not that I've ever heard of.
I sound so old. You can't go buy a mushrooms.
I know. You can go buy the marijuana.
You can go buy the marijuana. Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. I can't say who it is because I got caught in their pool shed with them smoking weed in high school. Oh. And it's someone that we know. And I had, when we were, I don't want to like throw them under the bus. So there's a girl's parents, and we went to high school with her, and her parents were like super straight edge, and you know, they always thought, you know, like yeah, exactly. That is any Westmount like parent, and like, you know, mom jeans, the whole bit. So we get caught smoking weed in the pool shed or whatever, think nothing of it. Oh, you're a bad influence. I'm like, whatever. Like, it was her weed, this like tight ass girl, right? Like totally like pretty in pink, like the pink ladies, like, and I'm, you know, over there probably in a black slip smoking dope or whatever. And I look like the bad influence.
Did she live near me?
No, she didn't live near you.
I'm trying to figure this
out. I know. I'll message you who it was. Oh my God. Nice. Well, I was taking the CBD oil for my back, and you take it orally. So I was getting it at this weed store years ago when things were still open, when they first opened weed stores. I'm like, I wonder if this will help with my back. Cause I don't know if you know this, I got a really, really bad car accident, like when I was like 20, and it like just messed up my back forever. So I was taking some weed oil. So I go into the pot store and there's her fucking parents, and they're buying like tons of weed. Like I'm like buying a weed oil for my back, and they're buying like all these like smokables, and they've got like a bong and like, and they're like our parents' age, right? So I was just like, hello, Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so, blank out name here. And they're like, they look like they just got caught with their fucking pants down. It was amazing. It was so funny.
Maybe they were mad because they thought you were smoking their weed.
They probably.
How did you
know what? Since they are such potheads, that girl that I was friends with, she probably got a joint out of their stash. Because I bet you they probably had it in, like, you know, dad's sock drawer, or, you know, like a little box with hash in it, like everybody's parents had when. Well, my mom wasn't so into it, but I know my dad totally smoked weed when we were kids. Like he had a pipe in the garage. I was like, is this for Frosty the Snowman? It smells weird. It was not for Frosty the Snowman. It was for hash.
It was his little in the garage after you kids went to bed.
So many, like, but like for living in such like a, like the area that we grew up in, we had so much like debauchery go on. Like, I mean, even at our school, did you know about like the things that were going on at our school? Like the boot knocking? What? The boot knocking? Okay. Oh, here comes. Well, we had a food and nutrition teacher who will also not be named. She had short hair, real short hair.
Blonde?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Nutrition hair, very short hair, weird, skinny lady, just odd lady. She ended up knocking boots with the principal.
How do you know that?
Yep.
How did you know that?
When you have people on the home and school board and you have friends in the home and school, you find out all the stuff. Man, there's debauchery going on in that school. I mean, we had teachers, like I remember our science and technology teacher, he was a drunkard. He was totally drunk all the time. It's only the primary grade. It's like the primary grades, the teachers were normal. And then like we got older and they got yelly. I remember there was like one teacher in particular, and she was like a whistle teacher. Whew.
Well, they had to deal with teenagers. So of course they're getting bitter and angry. Like teachers that teach kindergarten kids just get happy, fun-loving kids, and then high school kids are like, I don't want to be here. So of course they're going to be.
Grade six, we had a whistle teacher. Well, I didn't have this teacher. I was in Mr. Inman's class in grade 6. And if you were in the other class,
it was Mrs. McGregor Brown, wasn't it?
Yep, and she was the whistle teacher.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. She had a whistle around her neck. And if you got out of line, oh my God, if she blew that whistle, oh my God. It was so loud.
I didn't get out of line, Tanya.
I know you didn't. You didn't get out of line. You're always good. I didn't really get out of line
until high school.
Well, I remember getting out of line because Mrs. McGregor Brown got me one time. I was like talking to a boy. It was freezing cold outside and it was recess. So I was talking to a boy, of course.
Yeah.
What else would I be doing? And,
well, yeah.
And so I was like, let's go inside the doors and talk. It's freezing out here. This is ridiculous. It's like -30. Why are they like, this is oppression. I don't like this. I'm not doing this. What is this recess crap? I want to be inside. Can't I choose to spend recess inside drawing a picture? Why do I have to be out here freezing? So we're like in grade 8. So I was in Madame Flummerfeld's class.
Oh yes.
And so was this boy, and he was like a bad boy. And we're like standing inside the doors. Yeah. His name rhymes with crank.
What?
Who? Frank.
There was a boy named Frank in our school?
Oh yeah, and he was a real bad boy. So of course. Oh yeah.
How do I not know this? I was in the same freaking grade as you. Frank. I
don't know. You're gonna have to go back. Just you go back.
I'm gonna have to go find my school photos or something and be like, who the hell's Frank? Or go talk to any of my Sherwood Fox people I still know and be like, Frank, anyone, Frank? I do not remember. He
still messages my sister on Facebook.
Oh, that's
and I'm
creepy.
just like, and he's like, I think your sister blocked me. And my sister's like, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, I did. Weird grade 8 boyfriend. Because he was like, we'd hang out and like talk, but we got caught talking. That's all we were doing in the doors because it was freezing. And Mrs. McGregor Brown came in there with that whistle. And she blew it like in an enclosed space. Like it was like listening to bagpipes in a bathroom. It was the worst. And then we both got detention for standing in a doorway and talking. I'm like,
because there was chances of making out. She knew it.
Chances of making out was happening at spin the bottle at everybody's house anyway. Like
I didn't go like that. I was like the dork. Are you kidding me? I remember one time a friend of mine
being a dork.
It was Melissa, I think her name was, and she we were all the little nerdy girls, and we invited Rob. Oh, Purdy.
Oh, who lived close on our street. Yeah,
the cool boy that everyone thought was cute, and he came to her birthday. He was
super cool.
And I remember everyone was like, oh, he's coming to your birthday. And I feel like it was probably one of those things where his mother got the invitation, was like, you have to go.
You better go to this. Be nice to these girls.
Oh, they invited you.
Because like Melissa and I hung around a lot too, because she like loved horses and everything about them. And her parents lived behind that creepy old cemetery.
Yes. There's so many people that lived right in our little hood.
It was weird. Like we lived in like a little dotty little circle. It's like where you see like all like criminals, like when you like look on a map in the States. Like it's crazy. I know. Like, this is just full of West Enders. This is just where West Defenders. And this is where we all live.
West Defenders.
West Side. But it's so insane to see like, oh, I remember him being super popular because I remember even like at grade 8 grad. Because I wasn't super popular either. The only reason I got a little bit more popular is because I hung out with girls that had bigger breastises. And then mine sprung. And then boys were like, hey, I don't care what your face looks like. You have boobs.
I remember at some assembly, we all used to sit on the floor for assemblies, right? And behind me was, I think it was Nate Carter. And he lick my bra and I wasn't wearing one because I did not have boobies. And I remember him being like, you're not wearing one? And I was like, whatever. Like, it's not funny. God. But I just remember him trying to do
so mean.
Right? Boys are mean.
like about a bra, he was a snapper. I got snapped by him a couple times because even when I didn't have them, I'm like, whatever, I'm wearing one. Courtney Love wears one, so I'm gonna wear one. So I like wear one with like, itty bitty titty committee. Like like might as well be an undershirt.
The little training bra.
Snap. I'm like, if I got snapped now, and like if that was my daughter now, I'd be like,
can you imagine now?
Snap. You snap you snap his underwear until his winkle falls off.
Well, you're snapping the front. Oh,
like you're going straight to the front. It's girls to the front. Be like my youngest is like probably going to be like in the death metal version of like the Lindas. Like, she won't take no, she doesn't already. She's 3. Exactly. 0. And then my 6-year-old, he's probably going to be some kind of guru, I think. But he's more so calm. He's like smooth jazz troll. I know you know what I'm. You can pick up what I'm putting down.
Oh yeah.
He like. Well, you're talking
even like. Probably just be that like guy behind the computer, like just the smart kid, doesn't cause any trouble for you. Perfect stuff.
That's how Rob is. Like he's the same way. He's like always behind the camera, always writing something. He's quiet. He doesn't like. Well, I mean, he's not quiet when he's on camera because obviously he has to talk, but he just doesn't cause any like shit. And then I'm like, Scarlett is
you,
a small version of me. Yes, exactly, exactly. You hit the nail on the head right there. I was like, why am I having so much trouble parenting you? I'm like, because it's like parenting me.
You went to school in your freaking underwear. Like you're getting payback here. Your mom is probably laughing at some of the stuff.
Oh my God. Like I'll ask her too. I'm like, was I ever like this? She's like, yeah, but not, she'll say like in the nicest way. She'll be like, not quite like this, like intense. I'm like,
I can still handle you.
But you were intense. I'm like, in what way? Like, she's got a great right hook. I'll tell you, she'll never take any shit. But like, my parents are probably like, when I talk to like my aunts and uncles about it, they're like, holy shit, this is so funny. They're like, it's like karma coming full circle. I'm like, laugh it up, Chuckles. I'm like, she's not joining a band. She's not going to school in her underwear. No tiaras for you. Even when I got pregnant and I found out I was having a girl, I was like, oh, no girl of mine's going to be wearing like all that princess shit, whatever, blah, blah, blah. She's going to be wearing black like her mother. And then you have a girl and then you end up in the Disney store crying over a Snow White dress. I never thought. Did you see yourself as a boy mom?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, in high school when we had that parenting class and you had that baby, like I had the boy. I always figured I'd have a boy. But like when I got pregnant, I had this little like, I kind of want a girl. I kind of want a mini me. Like, and that was probably the first moment of my life that I ever thought I wanted a girl. And then I found out we were having a boy and I had the moment of like, aw, and then no, you know what? That's better. That's better. Boys are better. And now I'm like, I can't imagine having a girl. Like a boy just fits our life.
I think if I had a girl first, I wouldn't like realize like the difference. But because like Harrison's like easy peasy, like lemon squeezy, like along the board, even with having like type 1 diabetes, which is a fucking roller coaster all the time.
Yeah.
He's so easy. And then Scarlett, like she's a challenge, but it in the best way possible. She's going to be one of those women that just like moves mountains and is not going to let anything get in her way. So it's like, do I fight this? Probably not, because she's going to be strong as hell.
Yeah. You're just going to have to put up first the older she gets.
Oh my God. I'm not looking forward to I know I'm like the teenage years are going to be something.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's one thing I'm not ready for that, but I've got a long way to go.
And then you'll be that old mom that'll go get her from parties and your hair in rollers and embarrass her.
Oh, it'll probably be like in braids and it'll be all like gray and I'll probably have like a flower in it and I'll probably drive like a Volkswagen van.
Nice.
Get out like I'll probably paint it up like the Mystery Machine or something silly. Like, get out of a party. Get in here. We got a party going on in here. Christmas lights
like,
in the back.
The parents will think you were cool, and all the kids will be like, your mom's lame.
Oh, totally. Like, I'll be that mom. They're like, oh,
embarrassing.
God. It's like, it's so totally the embarrassing mom. I mean, sometimes like my eldest is like, Mom, like I'll like dance or something. Like, you'll get it. Don't worry, you'll get it. I'll like be like TikTok. Oh yeah, TikToking or like doing any kind of like flossing. That's not my.
Can you do that?
No, I can't floss. It's like horrendous. I've tried with the kids and all they do is laugh. They're like, make a TikTok video of it. I'm like, why? So trolls can go on there and make fun of me because that will be what happens. I'm like, just get reposted. By the way, kids, you're not allowed to watch most of my TikTok videos.
Yeah, probably most of the videos and photography you've ever done, they probably can't see.
No, they are not allowed to like Harrison always goes, can I watch your podcast or listen to your podcast? I'm always like, no, you may not.
Maybe little clips of it.
He's seen like some like kitty like live footage like from like when I was pregnant and I played with them. Yeah. And like he's seen that, but like I wasn't like cussing my head off. But he doesn't like, I don't let him. He can't watch my podcast. He's not exactly good for kids.
He's gonna find it.
Oh, eventually one day, but he'll have to be 18 to sign in. I am the keeper of all passwords until you're 18.
And then by then you're like, I don't give a shit. Go look at it.
I'm like, but by the time he's 18, it's like the world will already be into hell in a handbasket. He'll be like, Mom, this is like nothing. I'm like, nothing. I know. Yeah. I know, dear. This is fine.
Yeah.
So are you still working on a lot of custom stuff or are you doing stuff more like to kind of feed your own habits now?
It's getting to the end of my customs. Like I went a little, I'll take your order happy, right? So like I got all these messages and it was like, yep. And then I got a little overwhelmed. So I'm down to my last couple custom orders that I've like booked and taken and everything. And then I'm going to take a break and make a couple things I want to make and just like go back to work soon, get into that groove again, and then just make some fun ones and see what happens from there. If I get a really cool custom I want to make, I might, take one or something. But for now, I think I'm going to slow down just while work's picking back up again and see. Like if I could make this a job, like a full-time job, I would, but unfortunately not quite there yet. But one day it's picking up way more than I ever expected it to. Like I bought this doll pattern book a year ago being like, let's see if I can make dolls. And then all of a sudden I'm like practicing and getting better. Like my Trailer Park Boys ones, I would say are like way worse than anything I've just made recently. So like,
which I can't believe because they're so good. Like that just makes me go like, that makes me scratch my head.
Well, you always pick apart your own, right? Like you're going to be your own worst critic.
Absolutely.
So I look at those being like, I could fix that. I could do that differently. Oh, I see what I could have done now. So like everything gets better and better. Like for the most part, I was following basic patterns and then just adding my own details. But then I came to Liquid Death and I like created that one, right? Like
that one, like you didn't have a pattern for. Like I'm like, how did you just hatch that out of your brain?
Like it was just like he needs to be muscle man, right? Like and then I was like, I have little eyes, I can put those in. We have to get little spikes. Like I could visualize it because I've done so many dolls. I'm to the point now where I can see what I need to do. And then we had water, so like Kevin like punctured the can so we didn't have to open it and like drain the water out. And then just like built the guy, get little spikes.
But he's like, he's so posable too. Like he's got all, and he's got his axe and it's bloodied. Like he's like ready to murder his thirst and everything else.
And that was made with Fimo. You remember Fimo?
I use Fimo a lot actually. I use Fimo tons. We make kindness rocks with Fimo around here. And we just leave them in random places when I'm on my run. But you look like you like crafted this. Did you like use the Fimo and then like paint it, or did you have those colors?
Yeah, I just had like white Fimo, and then I had like a wooden dowel, and I just molded the shape, let it do its curing, whatever, and then I painted it. Yeah,
it's so good.
I like crafts.
well, you're really good at them. Like, and you managed to turn them into like a side hustle, which is more than I can say than, most people have been doing during the pandemic. A lot of people have been sitting around on their ass bitching, but
well, and it's helped too with like, cause I got laid off, obviously, like
sure.
anytime retail closes down, Mac is closed. So I was laid off twice because I was on mat leave for the first part of the lockdown. So then I
Yes.
returned to work, and right when we were laid off again, I think it was like beginning of right at Christmas time. It was like the second
Yep.
time we got so I was laid off because I was back to work at that point. And then this artist in the States, upcoming artist, her manager messages me, and he's like, we'd love to get some custom dolls made of this artist that I manage. How much would it be? How many can you make? Blah, blah, blah. So we got into talks, and I was like, I figured I could make 20 dolls. They gave me like 2 weeks. Like I had a very little time frame for a turnaround. So I was like, I could
person?
probably, in hindsight, it was a lot. But I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to crunch. Like I crocheted all day, all night, and I made 20 dolls. And it was the perfect time because first of all, I was in lockdown. I was laid off work. It was a good little chunk of change to help like offset the bills that I needed to pay. And then it started some more dolls after that. And then we go back to work, and we're in work for like 2 months. And then we were in a lockdown again. And lo and behold, they messaged me again being like, can we have 30 more? They were such a hit. They ended up making custom packages. So I think it was like if you pre-ordered her album or something, you were going to get this like custom package with one of the dolls and some stuff. So they wanted 30 more. Again, it came at lockdown where I could be like, I have time again and I could use some money again. So it was like perfect timing for this girl to need random dolls of herself.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I mean, like, and fans love like a really, like, I know like when Rob does like Kickstarters and things, yeah, like having a unique part of like the artist and like having something that's just like a numbered amount of something, like say there's only 50 made of these and it's this person and this artist, you really like them. If you weren't the first 50 people, you're out of luck. Sorry, my friend.
Yeah.
You missed out. And people really love that kitsch. And I think that's such a good and open market because the dolls are such good quality. They last, they stand up, to everything. You know what I mean? They're not flimsy. Like I've seen a lot of knit dolls and they're not so, they don't hold up so well. I've sewed a few for my small friends out of felt and one trip through the washing machine and no.
Well, like these dolls are meant to be display. Like I always say, like don't buy them for a child. Like if you give it to a kid's doll, because like there's little plastic eyes and little like felt pieces and stuff. They're meant to be a display, but yeah, they're posable. Like you said, like I wired them fully through their arms and legs, so you can like bend their arms and shift them around. I usually give people doll stands so they can kind of prop them up and just sits in a couch. Yeah,
that's really cool. Well, it's nice. Like the Trailer Park Boys can like have a beer or like a cheeseburger or
Well, he sent me the picture of them all together. It was in like it looked like the background of the shed. So I don't know if he has like a little setup or something, but it literally looked like
in his home.
Yeah,
it did. It looked like it was. It looked like it was on set. I was like, this is. I'm like, did you do that?
No, that was him because I sent them to him at different times, right? So once he got all of them, including like the Randy Leahy and stuff, he set up that picture.
He just made that shot.
Yeah.
Like that shot's, I'm like, that's so well like set up. When I looked at it, I was like, who took that? Where are those? Well, he's got a penchant for the camera too.
But he's been behind it for long enough. I guess he's picked up some things.
I guess he's got a thing or two. So I mean, regardless, once you get done doing a few things for yourself, because obviously you can get burned out, you know what I mean? You can take on so much where it's like, yeah, I can do this. And then you're just like, by the end of it, you're like, okay, now I need to like fall over for a couple of days and my hands are going to fall off. And Advil's my new friend, And
yeah, you need, like you said, you need a break, like just a moment. Like I just recently bought, I don't know if you, like, I'm such a crafter. I bought a Cricut machine. So
oh my gosh, one of my best friends has one.
So I'm like, now I'm playing with that. And I'm like, this is like a new dangerous addiction to making like on everything. Like my son's name is going to be on everything.
Oh my gosh. I have friends who make like t-shirts,
Yeah,
masks, they make like everything on it. And
everything.
they're amazing. Like the stuff you can do on one of those machines it blows my mind. I don't think I could get my head around it just because I'm not that technologically advanced. Like when I record on like something that has a tape on it. I'm so old with that stuff. I'm like, cricket. I'm like, it's like a bug for me, but it does the most amazing things. Like it's so
Or a doll in
crazy.
the 80s. There was a
Oh
cricket doll.
yes, cricket. Because
Yeah.
cricket and like Skipper and all those little people.
There was the
And my
boy one. I
buddy,
can't Big Buddy, is that what it was?
my buddy was my buddy.
My buddy?
I'm like,
Yeah,
so
but
they had to
the
just
cricket, I had a
bring you
cricket one.
friends. You had cricket. Oh, I don't think I had any of those people. I had, I had a lot of like what now people would call like tomboy toys. Like after like Littlest Pet Shop and stuff, I always like hung around with my neighbor who was a dude. So it was always like Ghostbusters and Ninja Turtles and Masters of the Universe and stuff like that. Like, and now it's like, and look who I ended up with.
Yeah. Well, do you see the background of my house? Like, yeah, that's who I ended up with too.
Well, you know what? We both found our dream boats, so that's kind of good. Like
We found the
it's
right
great
nerds.
when you find your fellow nerd and you find your fellow like weirdo and like
Your
lobsters
nerd
unite.
mate.
It
It's your nerd.
is. It
Yeah.
is your nerd mate, and your little
Yeah.
nerd souls just become one. It's so
Exactly.
good. It's not a bad thing. I will say that for sure. I'm probably gonna be reaching out to you about video games. For something
Hey,
special very soon.
I
I know you
love
like video
everything
games.
Nintendo puts out. We have every Nintendo console, like almost every freaking DS. I have
Really?
2 Nintendo Switches. Kevin has the Switch. Like we are Nintendo fans. We both have
Like
some
I knew you're
Nintendo.
into Nintendo, but I did not to know to that extent.
It's like it's what I grew up with because like I had 2 older brothers, right? So like we grew
Yes.
up with Nintendo, Super Nintendo, like everything that came out, and then I just continued it. So like when they kind of grew out of it, I was like, no, I want a GameCube. No, I want the 64. No, I want the next one. Like every new
They were
console that came
awesome
out,
systems.
like I love Mario Kart. Every new Mario Kart, I want to play Mario Kart. Like Diddy Kong
Because it's
Racing,
fun. Oh yeah,
so
anything Nintendo is
I will
fun.
play that.
Like
Yes,
it's the most fun. Like I think it's the most fun system. It has the most
like
fun
Nintendo
games.
we will rebuy games. Like we have, how many times have we bought the same damn Zelda game that has come out for every freaking console?
Oh
We'll
my
buy
God.
it again. Like
Oh yeah, for sure. I will buy
we'll buy it.
any Zelda game that comes out. I'll buy it. I'm such a nerd, but my favorite Zelda game, of course, is still A Link to the Past for Super Nintendo because I'm just a purist when it comes to poor Link. And I just I'm such a purist when it comes to it, and I love it. It's my favorite game. It's the one that like I show my kids, but the new ones are like mind blowing. They look like you're there.
Breath of the Wild, like the newest one, if you will, is I don't even know how to describe it. It's such a beautiful game. Like we pre-ordered it, both Kevin and I we're like, I remember the guys in the store were like, why are you buying 2? Like you guys live together. And we're like, because we both need to play it at the same time. Like there was no sharing this game, and we were addicted to it. Like it was before we had a kid, so we just every day after work we would like, hey, how's it going? All right, game. And then we would just sit and play Breath of the Wild. It's such an awesome game. I can't wait. They're making a sequel, so I'm so excited. Oh yeah.
I've seen it, and it's stunning. It's just beautiful visually. Everything they've done with it, I'm like, how did you do that on a video game? Like I look from like obviously where Nintendo's gone to where it is now.
Oh yeah.
It looks like you're there. Like it really looks like you're there, and it's astonishing to me that video games have taken this kind of like turn. But I'm glad that they did.
Can you imagine telling like little kid like, you know what video games are going to become? You like mind blown just imagining what it's and what it's even going to become later. Like it's still advancing the stuff they're doing.
Oh yeah, I saw some weird VR stuff the other day on the internet. It was Courtney Love looking at VR, so who knows what the fuck she was looking through her VR glasses. It could have been like a giant Viewmaster. Like who knows? I love her. I just think she's so eccentric and fun. So I like, who knows what she was looking at, but it was probably something crazy. And I was just like, oh God, what is the internet cooked up now? I just
Yeah.
can't wait to see, because literally every week it's something else. Today I got a message that's like, "How's your phone treating you?" from Rogers. I'm like, "It works." Like,
I can
what
call
the fuck do you
people
want me to
like
tell you,
it
Rogers?
works. Yeah.
You charge the most money and for the shittiest service. That's what I want to tell you, Rogers.
Tell.
So if you're listening, Roger, this one's for you. I'm getting Rogered
Yeah.
hard. And everyone is. Anyone
Yeah.
who
It's
owns a
just some
cell
guy.
phone,
Everyone has
it
a
is
cell phone.
some guy. And well, you kind of have to these days. Like, even like my mom has a cell phone, which is crazy.
Yeah. Both my
And like,
parents do. Of course. Yeah.
and like when like my dad like knows how to text, I'm like, it's still weird to me. I'm like, it's weird. It's wonderful, like, because I can communicate with him in other ways. But it's still so weird. I'm like, you're
It's
texting
the
me?
way the world's going though. Like even
It
working in
is.
retail, like you have to get this deal through an email. I'm like, what about people that don't have an email? They're like, yeah, but who's that? Like 80-year-old people. Like,
Yeah, exactly. How
there's
do they
still
have
people.
access to a computer? Like, how is that? And like that becomes like classist. It's like, how is there accessibility for them? What if they're trying to, do something? Then what if they can't come in?
Hoping they'll be gone soon and we move on to the next. Like
Yeah, it's horrible. I'm like, how do you do that? My mom, like, even my mom will be like, well, who doesn't have a home phone anymore? I'm like,
me,
not I. I don't have a home phone.
I have a cell phone. Kevin has a cell phone. That's our phones in this house.
That is the same with us. Each parent has
Yeah.
a phone because you got to make sure the kids are okay and play on Facebook and whatever
Yeah.
else and go piss somebody off. That's generally what I do with my phone.
It's like, why pay for another landline that I really don't need? Like, when would I really need it? Like, I'm not sitting and gabbing on the phone like a teenager talking to your friend for an hour, right? Like,
No, I would have needed
on
that
those
as a
days.
teenager. Yes, I totally needed a landline. Now,
Yeah. No.
I don't have
Teenagers
time to
now
talk
don't
on the
even
phone.
call. They text. Like, if you call a teenager, they're probably like, why the hell are you calling me in person?
They're like, what's wrong with my phone IRL? Like,
Right? Yeah.
they're just sending each other TikTok videos and they're
Yeah.
just like, fuck it, I'm not calling you. I
Me
don't want to
also.
call you. Even
Yeah.
sometimes I'm bad too, but I'm like sometimes like I can't type because I'm old. So I'll just send a voice message on whatever. And sometimes it just
You did
comes
it to
through
me.
better. I do it to you. I do it to I swear to God, I think I do it to everybody. And usually I'm so hyper when I send them. I'm like, ah!
Like, I'm just gonna
And
send a
then
voice
so
message. I'm just gonna text back.
like I went and text back, she's clearly we are excited today. I'm like, oh, I had a cup of coffee after noon, so that's kind of what happens.
They get a little
That's why I
wiry.
can't. Oh yeah, that's why I said I'm like, if I had that Monster Energy drink, I'd probably have a panic attack, like bouncing off the walls.
Definitely
So
don't have one of those.
what are your next monsters going to be? You got anything you want to like share specifically for you? That you can do something spooky, or you can
Um,
do something?
I don't have like the one I'm working on a garbage truck on fire right now, and that's
Mhm.
literally what I'm working on. So
Okay.
it's I don't understand it. The person that I'm making it for said it's like an inside joke with some people with
Oh,
a
but
garbage
so
truck
basically,
on.
I think you're crocheting the province of Ontario.
Yes,
That
that was
might
perfect.
be what it is.
That could be what he meant. Yes.
Oh, cried on.
So
Oh,
I'm trying to like figure out how to make like a waste management truck, and then I'm gonna
sure.
put like fire flames or something on it. So that's kind of like thing I'm working on currently. And then I have an order after that of another a couple that just wants them made for like a wedding gift. So
Oh,
it's
that's
not like
nice.
anyone famous, but I have some other ideas that I want to do for me. Like I said, there are people that everyone would know. Don't want to say it
Sure.
because I don't want to put it out in the universe and then have someone else
Don't.
take it and then do it before I can do it. So
Nope.
there'll be
That happens to
surprises
everyone
to
I know.
come. And everything gets
Yeah.
posted
Well,
on my.
where can we find all your surprises and prizes and all the surprises and all the wonderful things to come?
So the only thing I really post on is like my personal Facebook, but that's just like family and friends. So my Instagram is
Same.
my page that anyone can find my stuff. So it's Jenny_Bones, all
Okay.
small letters underscore. And it started out as just my personal account. Like Jenny Bones has been my gamer tag since I started playing games that needed a gamer tag. So it's
Oh,
just kind of
cool.
continued because it was Bones is a play on Jones, right? I'm Jenny Jones, so it's Jenny Bones, spilling water.
2 famous Jenny Joneses from London, Ontario,
right?
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. And I used to get it all the time of like, are you
Oh
related to her? No,
Do
I'm
I
not.
look Polish to you?
And
I look Polish to you.
Yeah, you could be related to her.
I probably am.
But I remember like to show our age with Jenny Jones, I used to say to people like, if they're like, what's your name? Like, it's Jenny Jones. You'll remember that, right? Everyone knows that name.
Of
course.
And
I said it to a girl at work one time, and she was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, the talk show host, you don't remember it? And I was like, it's from the 90s. She was like, I was born in 98 or something. I was like, oh God. Never mind.
Like, so you have no idea. I had someone once who was born like in that era say to me like, oh my God, what was the 80s like? I'm like, I don't know. I shit my pants a lot. Like I was born in 1983. Like, what do you mean, what was the 80s like? I wasn't at Studio 54 doing coke, if that's what you're asking. I was a baby.
You're a
like,
90s
I'm not that
kid.
Like, I'm not that old. Like, shit.
Well,
everyone knows. Well,
there's moments like that where the girl's like, I don't know what you mean. I'm like, oh, I'm old.
I do that all the time. I'm like, I am old people. I have those like moments. And I think we do, not even like as mothers, like as human beings, we just get to that point where some days it's just a little much and you feel a little bit old, like older than certain days.
But I feel like an old lady sometimes, like kids are screaming outside and Brody's gone to bed. I'm like, shut up out there. Like, I want to be the old lady running out on the street with like a rolling pin yelling at kids. Like,
dude, I am that lady, except she wears a mask and her name is Karen. Like, I am totally that lady. The other night, this is a perfect example. It was Memorial Day, which is an American holiday. Okay. So I'm pretty sure we're not in America right now.
Pretty sure.
Thank goodness. But I mean, so all of a sudden I'm sitting on the couch and it's like, I don't know, not just getting dusky. So I don't know, 9:00-ish. All of a sudden it's like World War III. There's like atomic bombs going off in my backyard. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I'm like, of course, the first thing I do, instead of looking outside, I get on the floor because I think we're being shot at, because where do I live? Like, I'm like, what the hell? I crawl up the stairs to check on the kids to see if they're okay. It's fine. Some dingus is lighting off fucking fireworks in their backyard off their deck. It's going to hit the other houses. So, of course, every other Karen in the neighborhood is out on their deck too, because I totally live in Karenville. And so, of course, I am the loudest Karen. No one else wants to say anything because no one else wants to start shit with their neighbors. But I don't give a shit. So, of course, I'm like, hey, I'm pretty sure we don't live in America right now. Like, you better wind that down. People's kids are trying to sleep and there's school tomorrow. This is bullshit. They were done. Like, it's like a bunch of young guys. They're like probably like in their, like when I say young guys, they're probably like 23, 24. They're like, oh shit, this bitch is crazy. Like, let's go in the house.
Well, you're either going to get that reaction of like, okay, we need to stop, or like, fuck you from across there, right? Like, you're going to get one or two reactions.
Well, and they're going to get one or two reactions. Like, I'm going to go over there in a mask and gloves and like go ape shit.
Start grabbing.
I'm like, it's a pandemic, but I can still finish him. I will use a move and exploit it.
Amazing.
Like I do every fucking combat. Now that we know where to find you, everyone knows where to find my uninteresting ass. Every single week you can find me on all your favorite streaming platforms. You can find me on Anchor. You can find me on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you can hear podcasts. Now you're finding me every week on YouTube, on Tanya Candler channel. If you want to see me doing weird shit, that's up to you. You can go on 21st Century Rocker Mom on TikTok. I'm also at 21st Century Rocker Mom on Instagram. Jenny, it has been a pleasure chatting with you. As always, thank you for sharing your time with me. This is the first time we've seen each other in how long?
I think I saw you in the mall, like when you were pregnant with Harrison. Like that was probably the last time I saw you.
It's like so long. And now we're not allowed to see anyone unless they're like a bubble person.
So it feels like even longer.
So it's like at least 6 years ago. Yeah. But it's nice to see you this way and connect with you.
You too.
Well, Well, I hope you have an awesome night, and thanks for joining me today. This episode is going to be dropping Sunday, folks. I can't wait for you all to see it. I'm so excited. I'm so happy that we had this chat.
Yeah.
You go
It was
have
awesome.
a good night. Murder that thirst. You're going to murder it right now. I'm going to murder it too.
You got it.
So I'm going to say
See you
goodnight
later,
to
my
him.
friend. It was
See
awesome.
you later, my friend.
Bye.
Bye.